everybody? Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome to part 3 of the Broly movie review. Now, with me in part 3, I brought two guests. KG, introduce yourself first.
Hello, everybody. Name's KG Prestige.
And with me, us also, we've got the Insane Game Freak, aka Schizomanic, aka whatever the hell you want to call him.
How dare you? Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here. Lose my motherfucking mind.
Woo! And we're here to talk about Broly, the movie, Dragon Ball Super's movie, Broly. It's just called Broly.
Oh, we're not talking about the original one?
Hell
I
no.
wish. I wish.
I mean, I think we will probably talk a little bit about it.
we'll bring it up. Yeah, I will bring it up. But what I'm going to do for this one, because this is mostly going to be, I want to split this into a couple of topics. Obviously, I do want to know about you guys' theater impressions or theater experiences first, and then we'll go into the movie bit by bit and just give our thoughts on from there. So we'll start with you, Terrell, first on what was your theater experience like when you went to the movies to see Broly?
It was, I mean, our theater was pretty packed. I went with one of my friends. I will say it was probably one of the more diverse anime films I've gone to see in theaters. Usually it's like a bunch of kids or it's a bunch of adults. It seemed like we got a weird mix. There was also a child who shut the fuck up during the film, and he's like what, 5 chairs next to me, and I'm like, we couldn't do it. It's been a while. I gotten too lucky. It's been overdue.
Gonna turn Super Saiyan on him?
No, we're not. If we're doing those puns this early into this is gonna be a whole problem.
No, he's gonna turn into the legendary Super Saiyan, because that's how Broly turned into one in the original.
Watching the film, it's hard to talk about the movie experience without talking about the film itself. The experience was fine. I didn't have any issues like sitting down and watching it. I will say I was checking my phone in terms of time. Probably like an hour or so into it, just to see where we were at, because of the long setup we go through in the beginning before we even get to the main part of the film.
Right.
I just remember leaving the theater kind of conflicted about the film itself. The experience was fine,
right,
but it's like I didn't know how I really felt about the film.
Yeah, I would say I remember you had left a tweet on your Twitter, and I wanted to. I was gonna ask you a little more about that as we move on.
Yeah, because I saw everyone getting hype and laughing at certain jokes,
right?
And my response was me and my friend's response were pretty indifferent, and it was like, am I missing something here, or am I wrong, or what? I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
But yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, and KG, what was your theater experience like?
Oh boy, when you're in NYC, it's just gonna be filled to the brim with a bunch of people.
Filled.
It was, man. I think it succeeds in terms of how it was for me back with the Battle of Gods, because that's also something I saw back then with my mother in one of the theaters here in NYC. And we had a hell of a good time during that one. And we went to watch Broly again, a different theater this time, but more like in the center of Manhattan, because as you know, this movie is now available in more locations compared to before in the past. And I was surprised by that. And there was like one that was a little closer by. And I'm like, okay, let me go for that one. And my God, it was incredible. I would say to the level of how it was for me when I went to see the Avengers film with my mother, because it was intense. Like how Terrell was describing it before, how the audience was laughing during the scenes or going insane over the hype stuff, and it was to that level in this movie as well. And it's just so amazing seeing such a variety of people just be here in one area to watch a film that everyone or watch a series that everyone enjoys. Being of Dragon Ball, you have from adults to kids, like all these newcomers as well, as you would like to call them. So it was great. The reactions were great. The audience was great. There was that one kid, little baby. I'm not sure
shut
why.
The fuck up.
I'm like,
I've been going all around the world, just in different theaters.
Probably.
He's a reincarnation. He's a reincarnation.
Right.
It's the canon version now, but I don't know what's going on with that. But I mean, listen, it didn't affect my overall experience with the film. It was something minor,
Right.
something out
Right.
of the way. I was more just invested in what was going on in the screen itself, and the
Right.
reaction of the crowd when they go excited when this scene happens or when this moment happens. You know, I obviously it's spoiler territory for now, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
we'll get
was
into
great.
that. We'll get into the meat of it. So, my experience, I went on Saturday. The movie came out on Wednesday, so I went literally 3 days afterwards. And I'm actually really surprised. I thought 3 days after the movie wouldn't be that full, but it was sold out. It was a completely sold out. I pre-ordered my tickets and I'm glad I did because that theater was packed. And I think I lucked out of the three of us because oddly there were no kids in this. Just mostly teenagers and young adults were at the theater.
So you had the target audience. That's what it was.
Yeah, pretty much, and that confused girlfriends. But
so it didn't
yeah.
really turn out.
Why we here? Just, but
I
no,
thought you were going to bring us to watch that Lady Gaga film. What are we doing in
right,
this?
Right.
Why did you lie to me like this?
You said we were going to watch Break. But no, what happened is when we went in, because it was me and my friend from high school, we sat down and this was actually pretty cool. We actually ended up seeing more students from our high school in the theater. It was like we've never seen these people in years, and now we're seeing them again because St. Louis is it's not a huge city by any sense of the word. Like, it's big, but it's not like New York big. So, you know, we actually got to see some old faces, and I thought that was pretty cool because I didn't know these people watched anime like that when I was in high school. So it's so weird to just be like, oh, you were an anime fan the whole time. Where were you when I was getting teased?
Tyrone, you misunderstood it. Just because you like Dragon Ball doesn't make you an anime fan.
What? Well,
that just makes you a Dragon Ball fan.
Also, yeah,
I guess.
It's almost like just because you enjoy Pokemon doesn't make you an anime fan.
I mean, right, doesn't make you a fan of the video games. I'm okay, well, I guess. But I saw a lot of people in there, and you know, they all cheered. They were pretty good audience. They cheered when Vegeta, you know, did his whole little thing, and you know, you know, everybody clapped when the movie started. They clapped when it ended. It was a great time. So, with that being said, the movie itself, the cusp of it, I want to start off with talking about the plot half, because this movie is literally cut in half. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Like
I
get
what you're coming
story
from.
driven.
Yeah, the story and the action are literally cut in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and talk about the story portion at the start. So KG, you can go ahead and take that.
Okay. You know what? I will say this. There was a lot of enjoyment for me from the first half because it was like a Clip Notes version of what went down for Dragon Ball, like the origins, you know? Obviously, I've seen a lot of reaction from the community and how split they were by this because it introduces new elements, which of course are fine, but it came at the cost of eliminating certain things that people did enjoy about, you know, certain scenes, like how they had to rewrite characters and all that stuff and change them to a way to sort of make the film make some form of sense. You know what I mean? So I will say the first half did a great job in just giving us a retelling of how everything all began with Goku, Vegeta, and even Broly himself. You know, it was nice to see just how these characters managed to escape from their planet before the eventual demise that had happened to it, you know. And I really love that Goku bit, by the way, where he was awake. The one where he was in the pod and he was being sent to Earth, and his parents were like, "Listen, Earth is gonna be a safe place for you." You know, they said he was gonna be a weak
moment.
one. Yeah, and I enjoyed that. And it just annoyed me because I'm like, this is what I want to see from Dragon Ball. I know that's weird to say because Dragon Ball is more of a action kind of series, but it's those elements from like the family side of things, just seeing how these all communicate with one another and just have that completely eliminated in the second half of this movie. It was just like, oof. I just wanted more. I was craving more because I love story-driven films, and the first half of that really hooked me into it.
Right. So to
So
just go
that's
a
my
little
take
bit
on
in,
it.
yeah, I was just to go a little bit into it. The movie, well, when it begins though, they changed it up a little bit. Vegeta and Broly are born around the same time this time, instead of Goku and Broly being born at the same time, because Goku's still born 5 years after Vegeta.
That makes
So
more sense to me
what?
anyway.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me too. It's all, and it's really weird to think about because the movie starts off and it says 41 years, and I'm just like, wow, Goku and Vegeta are kind of old.
Well, no, because Goku.
All things considered, Goku would be 36 if that's the case, while Vegeta's 41.
Yeah.
So yeah, all things considered, it's like, wow, that's a lot of time. And obviously, when Broly's born, Vegeta's born at the same time. Vegeta has a high power level. King Vegeta marvels over that for a bit, and Broly clearly has a debatably higher power level. They never say concrete numbers in this one for some reason.
I'm kind of glad because power levels, first of all, are dumb.
Well, power levels are bullshit. Yeah, that's why. So, obviously, King Vegeta's scared and debatably say for good reason. But he's also jealous, so he just sort of yeets Broly to the planet Vampa, which is yeah. It's just full of bugs, and the air is like toxic and crap, and basically what happens is Paragus gets pissed, and rather than stop him like King Vegeta should have, I guess he just didn't care because he thought, they both died then. Paragus goes in to chase him, and then like an unfortunate pilot saying gets caught up in it. What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, like that side character who has no name.
No name the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. It doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme. Like,
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool when they landed on Vampa and they're helping each other out. It was a nice level. Like, I feel like the adventure to Vampa could have been its own movie.
I think the reason why I think I like it because he serves the purpose of showing that Paragus is his just position, where even though he's somewhat of a nice guy, he also will kill you just for the sake of convenience.
It definitely showed off that Paragus is a lot. Like, even though he cares about his son at this point, he's still a goddamn Saiyan.
Yeah, he's still as unstable as any other Saiyan is.
Right. So, yeah, when we cut to Vampa, we see that Broly's turned into a great ape and killed some of the bugs, and he's just eating the bugs' body parts as, like, substance. Thought that was kind of cool. After that, I think what we get to then is that we cut forward 5 years, and Bardock's changed quite a bit here too. Obviously, taking the Dragon Ball minus route for Bardock, which, if you don't know, that's
AKA the most offensive version of him.
The worst version of Bardock, yeah. Because that's the Bardock that is supposedly, he's the family man. He cares about his son. He doesn't get stabbed by a Knassin. He just has a hunch that Frieza's gonna destroy the planet Vegeta. So he just sort of yeets Goku to Earth, and that's about it. And what you guys think of this take on Bardock, and by extension, I guess his mother unit, Gine? KG, you can go for this one.
Oh, okay.
And then Toriel, you'll go after.
Yeah, go first.
What? I thought you were going
first.
Okay,
Toriel, you can go first then, since you did make your opinion clear first.
Okay, so here's my issue with it, is that I think this is kind of the issue Dragon Ball Super has been trying to deal with the whole time. That Saiyans are dickheads, and I think for some reason Bardock seems to be either immune to this shit, or they're like, well, we want to make him different. So now they've made him more of a traditional hero, which then explains where Goku gets it from. To me, and this is kind of a running thing with the film, that the film has good stuff in it, but to me, it could have been better. So it's like, if I'm already thinking of the better idea while watching the film, it kind of makes me feel like the film didn't try hard enough to be better. I think what they should have done is made his mother the unrealistically or uncharacteristic good character. That way, because the biggest problem with Dragon Ball Z is once you realize that, the only reason why Goku's good is because he bonked his head as a child, it kind of devalues him as a hero, whereas I like the idea that, maybe his mother was good, and that's where the personality trait came from. Making his father a dickhead, I think, should have stayed is relevant. Since this is the first time he see his mother officially, right? I guess, also in Dragon Ball Minus we see her, right? Yeah. To me, it would have made sense for her to be the unrealistically good one because she literally serves no purpose other than just being there. So I would just rather her be the one who's the uncharacteristically good character. That way it justifies why Goku has... If you're going to rewrite anything, because Bardock didn't really need to be rewritten. Bardock had his moments of, like, I don't want to call it compassion.
He didn't have a moment of heroism per se. He was just doing it because if I'm gonna die anyway, I want to die on my terms, and I don't want Frieza to try to get the last laugh on us.
Yeah, like, and if you wanted to do anything, is that because to me, Goku's traits from his dad were already kind of apparent that he was just as kind of perceptive as his father was. So you didn't really need to carry over this weird Superman complex of like, son, you will be safe, and if everything turns out to be fine, we'll come back and get you. Like, I was like, and even his wife Gideon's like, this is kind of uncharacteristically emotional coming from a Saiyan father. But then I'm like, are the Saiyan women not like that? And we don't fucking know because we don't have any background for Saiyan women.
Because Gideon is literally the only Saiyan mother.
Well, that we see or interact with.
That we see on screen, yeah.
So it's like, why not focus on that? You could have mentioned her as like, wow, you're uncharacteristically compassionate for a Saiyan woman. Like, should have said something like that so we had some context. Because we already know how Saiyans act in general. So Saiyan women could have been slightly different. But that's that's just my issue with it.
Right, and I guess to sort of piggyback off what you said there, I believe that Bardock the Father of Goku's TV special is Bardock's best iteration. I don't like when the main character, or at least in Dragon Ball's case, I like the fact that Goku's parents are very irrelevant to him as a person, and the reason I like that though is because it still gives his parents spotlight without intentionally getting them spotlight. They're not supposed to be anything special. They're not supposed to be anything that they're not supposed to be the chosen fighters. They're not supposed to be all that. They're supposed to just happen to be Saiyans that just happen to launch Goku at the right time. Like Goku's pod got launched at the right time, and that's his story. He just happened to hit his head when he landed on Earth. I like that idea because where you directly make the characters affect Goku's life like that, like, oh, he's this destined child for greatness type of deal, you put Goku on this pedestal that kind of defeats the purpose of what Goku's all about. Like, the whole point of Goku fighting Vegeta was this whole situation happens on accident. It's because Goku unintentionally became good, but still loved to fight. That's what he carries with him as a Saiyan. And that carried all the way over to him fighting a blue-blooded, spoiled prince who believes that Goku was just taken here because he's weak. So to make his parents we're the only parents in the Saiyan planet that decided to take our son or daughter to another planet for safety just in case Frieza decides to blow it up just seems a little odd to me.
Well, the only reason why I say I would have preferred his mother be the source of like Goku's kind nature is since they're going with a more timid, more misunderstood Broly, it would have made sense to me that, oh, well, Goku wasn't the only one who has a family gene of that, not irrelevant,
right,
of that abnormal trait. But
right,
I'll let KG get his time this week.
Yeah, I was like, KG, it's...
Okay, well, I was hearing you say something about like how they kind of treated Goku like a prodigy while he was being launched from the pod to Earth. There was one thing I did enjoy about that scene. It's very, very minor, not really anything extreme or whatnot. But it's that little moment where the parents tell him that the reason why they sent him to this planet was because it is a very weak level location. That way Goku can live perfectly fine. Like, they don't consider him a hero. They don't consider him like to be this big project on Earth. They just said, we're just bringing you there because you can survive.
Right. Well, I just like the idea
he's
that
also considerably weaker
Exactly,
Yeah.
like because they kept saying like they look into scouters and all that, and they say he's weaker, so they want him to be in an area where he's still capable enough to fight on his own, survive on his own,
Right.
But they were like, listen, it's not because you're the chosen one or anything. No, it's just we want you to live, and I like that little detail right there. It's not they're not making him sound to be a hero.
Right.
They're parents being parents.
I guess I should rephrase it. What I mean,
it's more untraditional.
essentially is
it's more untraditional for saying parents. That's why it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But then again, they rewrote everything.
I liked the Bardock special more specifically because Goku had no connections to it. It was just we just happened to send Goku to this very weak planet just in time for Frieza to blow planet Vegeta up. Like it was so accidental, and I like when things happen in an unintentional way. And this felt low key, like it felt kind of intentional because obviously Bardock is manipulating what's happening. Whereas here, I like the fact that in the Bardock special, I like the fact that he doesn't change anything. Everything that's going to happen still happens. They gave Bardock future foresight powers, but the events still take place the way they're supposed to because that's the story.
What's the point of
they just do. It's a tragic tale.
Yeah, what's the point of seeing the future when you still can't? If you can't do anything
about it. So yeah, it's a very tragic tale, but sometimes I feel like if you can make a Dragon Ball series instead of a tragic tale behind it, that brings some level of depth to it, I guess. But maybe I'm looking too deep into that. KG, did you have anything else to say upon this half of the story?
No, that was pretty much it. Like
did you guys like the Raditz cameo?
I didn't care because it's
not really.
I didn't care either.
Just at least they acknowledged him, man. That's good.
The best part is that Nappa has hair. That's the best part.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize I was Nappa. I went, oh shit, because it wasn't until I saw his face. And I was like,
it was Nappa and Raditz. They were both together with Vegeta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Two others,
and then some random Saiyans,
that are probably
watch, those guys are going to be like the super villains for the upcoming new season for Super
right,
when that happens.
Dragon Ball Z movie 23, The Hidden Saiyans.
Yeah, exactly, there you go.
Just gonna Perfect potential. Broly is the first arc, so fuck it.
Right.
Which arguably, I think it would have worked better as an arc than a film, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
Can I just bring up one last thing? I know this is nothing to do with like the first half, but goddamn, the OST worked perfectly for the first half of this film.
I do really like the music in this movie. Did you have anything on that, Terrell?
No, I just like music. That's all.
Yeah, but the music was really good. And so in the story, obviously, we move forward. We do a big jump forward through, obviously, all the events that happen in Dragon Ball. And then we cut to Goku and Vegeta training on this remote island. And suddenly, Bulma gets a call. They stole, we don't know who they are yet, stole the Dragon Balls, which... I don't know. I was a little bothered by that. I mean, yeah, I get it. They sent low-level soldiers to take the Dragon Ball so their power won't be detected. But between Goten and Trunks, you mean to tell me nobody was at Capsule Corp stopping them from taking the Dragon Ball?
Well, the problem is that the main plot of the film is
I feel like it would have been better. I feel like you would have been better off just like having the Dragon Ball scattered and the weak warriors just happen to find like 6 of them or something. I don't know.
This is probably one of the biggest issues Super has. It has a bad case of like mood whiplash because the movie's main plot is not taken seriously at all, except in certain sections. And so so Toei is like, I don't really give a fuck about this setup, and they don't. I don't think they did. It was like we just need a really dumb reason or just an excuse to get them to fight. So we're going to use the Dragon Balls because that's the plot device for most arcs.
Right.
We're going to have them be almost borderline assembled, just like in most arcs. And then they're all going to get scattered again by the end of the movie, just like most arcs.
Right. And yeah, it was very rushed, and I don't know. It felt kind of sloppy to me. What did you think, KJ?
Honestly, that just felt like some kind of side plot that just needed to be there to be there. There was nothing I could say about it because they didn't really care about it. They treat the Dragon
Balls, both villain and heroes alike treat the Dragon Balls as like a very convenient candy store type of situation where like I'm going there just to get what I want, which the wishes are borderline ridiculous. But I mean, I get Bulma's. Bulma's makes sense because all through the series she's been sort of, at least since the Boo arc, she's been sort of like doing this whole age thing. It was even hinted in Battle of Gods when she didn't want to reveal her age to Krillin and stuff like that. So it made sense at Bulma's, and Frieza's is what kind of threw me in for a tizzy.
I almost wish they had never told us Frieza's. Like they just
they kept it as a secret
because I actually like Frieza's justification for why he doesn't want to be immortal. I like it that it correlates to what his previous loss taught him, almost like he's learning from his situation. But if you had just kept it a secret and not told us, then people could have just thought. Also, they could have used it as a platform for future seasons or movies. So I wasn't
like all we really need to know is Frieza's evil, and that's we just can't let him have the Dragon Balls.
But essentially,
although I will admit I did get a chuckle from those two though.
Yeah. Frieza's was so annoyingly telegraphed.
Can I just say something real quick? Okay, that person that pretty much got the idea that Frieza wanted to get bigger. How is she still alive?
You
know what I mean?
Because I think
there's some things that make it seem like she should get killed.
Yeah, there's rumors going around that she probably took care of Frieza when he was young.
And that's why he's okay with just leaving her be like that, just being able to trash talk
like
him.
The person that Veronica Taylor voiced is like Frieza's nanny, probably. Which, by the way, rewinding on that, how'd you all feel about young Frieza and his destruction of the 3 Saiyan units that couldn't be seen?
Not really surprising. I mean, you got to show that Frieza was a badass. Even when he was young.
Yeah, I felt that Frieza was more Frieza in that scene than in the rest of the movie. But
Frieza doesn't need to be in Super ever. Frieza didn't even need to be revived, in my opinion.
That's true. Resurrection F was a mistake. But I think that Frieza was more hardcore and Frieza-like in that part of the movie than the rest. The rest of the movie, he's just sort of on standby, commenting on how weak / strong Broly is, how incompetent Paragus is, and then he just makes a joke, and then he gets his butt kicked for an hour. But that's neither here or there. Keiichi, did you feel anything about Frieza?
No. The only thing I brought up about Frieza was that woman that was pretty much saying, "Oh, it's because he wanted to grow 5 centimeters or something like that." Like I was just questioning how she was still alive is all, but
I think she just
character in this film.
Frieza.
Yeah, Frieza's character in this film I was okay with, to be quite honest, because I feel like he was the one that was driving the story forward, and you kind of needed somebody to do that. And it also kind of was good because I felt at the very end of the film there was a nice setup for something that could potentially go down. It all depends on where they plan to take the story moving forward, though. But we'll get more into that, I guess, when we get closer to the end of the discussion for that film.
Right. And also I want to say this happened on the side, obviously, before the whole plot begins. Obviously, since Broly and Paragus have been on planet Vampa for debatably they've been on planet Vampa for 41 years. They sent in the present day, they sent 2 Frieza Force members, Chile and Limroll, and they send them over there to recruit more fighters for Frieza's forces, which, I mean, they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for Frieza's soldiers, I guess. And when they got there, they found Broly, brought Broly there, and hence why we have our whole movie the way we have it. Because then at that point, Frieza recruits Broly. We get some character development from Broly when he's on Frieza's ship. What did you guys feel about that? I do like Broly and his pet. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, best version of Broly.
Right. Which you don't have much to really go off of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Primarily, it's fine. I don't have any issues while they're on the ship for the most part. I think all that stuff was handled perfectly fine. Broly's represented. I think him telling his backstory, his dad shocking him to giving us the setup with the collar and everything. I think all that is within character. I don't really have any issues. Yeah. The only thing I don't care for is I don't view Chile and what's the other guy's name?
Limroll.
Limroll and Chile. I don't find them as characters. They're honestly they're just surrogates for the audience. It's like, oh, you're supposed to represent the audience, so they feel bad for Broly because we're supposed to feel bad for Broly, and that literally is all their character is for the rest of the film.
And fan service.
Well,
yeah. Fan service. Limroll is fan service.
Listen, man, there were some shots in this film where they focused on her ass.
KG had to cover his mom's eyes. He was like,
well, hell, even the part where like she shows off how the battle suits fit because Broly wasn't really used to it.
She stretches it.
Yeah, she stretches it, and there's a bouncing.
And to be fair, Dragon Ball has always had its weird level of perversion in it. It's just been a while since we've seen it to this extent.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
the last time we saw this was in like
Dragon Ball days. Yeah, the Dragon Ball days where Bulma was flashing people and stuff like that. But
at least you could tell that this was a Toriyama written film then.
Right. I mean, you can definitely tell Toriyama wrote it because sexual harassment's funnier. But at that point, the two characters, I don't hate them. They're not offending me. It's just I think the thing is like they mainly use Frieza's army. Well, they use Frieza's name as sort of a shield, which kind of bugs me because what's stopping any lowly Joe from joining the Frieza Force just so that they don't get their asses whooped? I guess it's like the military in a sense. Yeah, you can join. So you can, yeah, right. You were drafted. But it's like the draft team is an old man and a girl who just got in trouble at one planet, so she used Frieza's forces as an alibi. So I don't know.
I wish they did more with that and actually had that be the base, because it's like it's supposed to be the basis of a character, but it never comes up again or is never referenced again. Like I was saying,
yeah, they just sort of talk about it in casual conversation and then move on.
Like I said in my review, that should have been the basis of why she acts the way she acts, and Broly reminds her of the way she used to act, maybe, and that's why she because her taking a liking to Broly just doesn't really make sense. It's just kind of like, oh,
right. It's just a by the way, because if that were the case, they would like every person that they recruit for Frieza, and it'd just be a problem in itself.
Right. Also,
I
think Paragus' age is one of the only aged Saiyans.
I mean, I think at that point, Paragus was already an adult when this took place. So, he was already probably in his 30s.
So is this the only?
So 41 years had passed. So he was, yeah.
So is this the only proof that Saiyans do age? It just takes them longer.
I think Vegeta says, he says it in the final episode of Dragon Ball Z. When Goku wants to fight Oob, Bulma complains that Goku and Vegeta don't look any older than they did when the whole Buu stuff went down. And Vegeta says, our aging slows so that we can fight longer. So there's a reference to it. Plus, Paragus technically is the oldest living Saiyan at the time of that movie.
Or he was.
Every other Saiyan either died or, died. Yeah, died or is dead.
You did. Yeah, King Vegeta did, son. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
So I like to believe if Bardock was still alive, he'd have like gray hair or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but so obviously after this, once they land on Earth and they're in the cold regions, the fight begins. That's it. After that, I don't even need to explain any more plot. The fight just starts, and for 30 minutes it continues.
And that was the most satisfying 30 minutes of 2019, man.
Right. I was just going to say, so with that being said, I guess we'll split this up in rounds. What did you guys, KG, you can start first. What did you think of Vegeta
Okay, how far
versus
can I go
Broly?
with this? Oh, okay, Vegeta versus
All the
Broly.
way, Vegeta versus Broly. So until Vegeta just stops fighting, by the way.
Okay, can I just say that I'm just so glad Vegeta was the target this time and not Goku?
That was cool. Even when I saw it in the trailers, I thought that was pretty cool.
Vegeta deserved to have some dedication focused on him.
Yeah, now it's oh, holy shit, someone's actually going after me and not Goku?
Vegeta's happy about it too.
Yeah, he was just confused, like, oh, I'm the center of attention. Well, goddamn.
Yeah, I do like small attention to details. Fashion, you gotta catch it. But the poses that Vegeta and Goku take when Broly charges forward to hit Vegeta, they're the same poses that they took when Goku and Vegeta were about to fight each other.
Really? Now I'm gonna have to double check
Yeah.
on that again later.
Yeah, it's a fact. There's a lot of little cameos and Easter eggs in that movie, like Abba and Kato there, the Ginyu Force, King Cold's there, Emperor Pilaf, and the others are in the back. Yeah, a bunch of fun little things that you gotta just catch. But yeah, you can continue your thoughts on Broly versus Vegeta.
All right, so yeah, like I mentioned, I really enjoyed that he was a target this time, and overall, the movement and just another thing to talk about, the setting of this fight is great.
Yeah,
Because due to them being in a very snowy location, they were able to stick out very quickly because they're different colors to the white, and it's able to kind of like give you a clear look at how the visuals are going, how the punches, interact with one another because you're actually able to see them move. Normally with like other terrains like in mountains and whatnot, they're very easy to blend in, but when you have nothing but just pure white snow all over, it just makes everything so much more just so much more impactful. Like you see all the sparks, the blasts, the explosions, the way they're flying and punching one another. Everything about that was great. And another thing too I also enjoyed was the slow build up for Vegeta, where he went standard form and then Super Saiyan form, and then after that going into God for the first time in anime, I believe, like the red form.
Yeah,
that was his first time. That was his first anime form. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice to finally see that. Oh, yeah, he can do that, by the way, and just see how he's just toying around with Broly. That was pretty satisfying, to be quite honest, especially when you compare it to the original film and how now jumping into this one, it's just nice seeing Vegeta, at least for the very start of the film, have his time of shine, and it was very satisfying. So overall, for that, there's really not much I could say about the fight in itself. The Goku one, on the other hand, I do have a couple of things I want to mention for that.
Okay,
we'll get to that later.
We'll go to Terrell on his Vegeta versus Broly take.
There's really not anything extra I can say because I mean, it's a fight.
Okay,
it looked really good.
Well,
the only thing I'm not a huge fan of how quickly he escalated from base to Super Saiyan to God. I kind of wish he hit through maybe the other variations of Super Saiyan before he hit
like God. Super Saiyan 2 and
because it was weird. I hate because he mentions in the fight he's learning while he fights, and I'm like, so why would you jump right? Why would you jump right into God knowing that he learned while?
I guess the idea was to finish him quickly,
but he didn't even do that.
Well, he didn't use bullets. So
no, he did attempt.
He tried it.
Yeah. He tried to blast him. Yeah.
He tried it, which I guess we do need to mention the whole.
He tried it.
And of course, as always, because of that, he ends up actually making the situation far worse than it should have been, in a way.
Yeah. And I was going to go ahead and comment
and I guess
on.
Eventually, we do need to mention the temporary pause in the fight, but that comes a little later, I believe. Where Paragus tries to shock him.
Yeah.
Because he's lost. Is that against Vegeta?
Yeah, that was at the very end when Vegeta was about to launch his attack.
Yeah, it was right. It was right when Broly was knocked against the wall. In the same art style that Goku was during the Broly movie when he was bammed against the wall and it was a huge crater.
To me, that's the only. It's that pause between when he's trying to shock him and he's going berserk.
Then the remote is missing. Yeah,
that's where my issues crop up. But since we're just talking about the fight was fine. I think it was well animated. It was beautifully lit. I wish they rocked their winter outfits longer than for like 5 fucking seconds.
Oh my god, I know, right? It looks so good.
Why give them the outfit and they only rock it for like 5 seconds? They take it off.
They didn't want to animate it.
So lame. Whatever. I wish if they got taken off, it should have been blown off. Especially since Goku ends up getting his entire clothes ripped up towards the middle.
Yeah, and even rips it himself.
I'm just like, just let me have the jacket for like 5 seconds. Then damn.
Right. Well, Vegeta did before.
But the fight's fine. But yeah, go ahead, Tara.
Yeah. Okay, so with this fight, I actually do have a little bit more to say on it. I do. First of all, when I first saw them fighting, I was really impressed. And for the most part, I just want to comment on the fact that I'm glad that Broly didn't start off kicking everyone's ass like in his movie, or in the original, in the 2003 Broly, or I guess 1993 if we're looking at Japan. Jesus. Anyway, when the fight starts, I'm glad Vegeta actually has the upper hand. It's really cool to see that the villain is actually, well, he's not the villain, but you know what I mean. The antagonist is actually struggling to actually get some hits in on Vegeta. And it's good to see that Vegeta actually has control of the fight. So as Broly is learning while he's fighting and he's getting stronger as the fight goes, it's still cool to see that Vegeta is getting hit in. So it doesn't look like Vegeta was just completely ragdolled for a whole 30 minutes. So that's a really nice warm welcome. I will say that as he's learning while he fights thing, that's I like that idea. That's pretty cool. If you're gonna have Broly, I like the fact that it's not Broly existed for such a long time with this latent power level that he just has to blow it all up in one setting. It makes sense that he progresses as the fight is going on. And then one thing I also do like, and I don't know if anyone wanted to comment on this as well, when Vegeta reaches God and pins Broly down, Broly reaches a transformation that deviates away from the traditional Super Saiyan transformation. What he does is that he basically takes the Ozaru form, the Great Ape form, and condenses it into his regular form. So now he can keep up with Super Saiyan God only because all the power he would have had as a great ape has been like sort of just condensed into his regular body, which I think is the closest we'll ever get to Super Saiyan 4, by the way.
I was just about to say that. I think this is probably going to be their reiteration of Super Saiyan 4 at this point.
Yeah, you can even tell because his eyes are yellow in this one.
No, his eyes were just gone.
No. Before that, his eyes turned gold. They had a gold iris around them.
Huh. I have to pay attention to that then.
It's gold first, and then it turns into nothing. But while he's fighting Vegeta in that stage, it's clear to see that he's starting to gain more of an upper hand. So I thought that was pretty good. So I guess with that said, we'll move on to the next half of the fight, which is debatably much longer too. It's when Goku decides to step in the fight. So KG, you wanted to comment on this?
Yeah, this one I had more fun with out of the two. And the only reason why is two reasons. One, the first person perspective from Broly. That was so amazing. That was like as if like one of those 4D rides.
Done correctly. Yeah, Dragon Ball Connect done correctly.
Welcome to VR.
Yeah. Welcome to VR.
I was like, oh my god, it was just so cool being able to see it from like their point of view, how they're flying in the sky, how they punch the character and you see the cracks on the wall and how they drive the character right through the wall into the ground and all that. It was so satisfying. But another bit I also liked as well, as mentioned with the Vegeta bit, is just those crunches, those punches, those impacts. There was one scene where Goku was trying to fight back against Broly, and Broly ended up getting the upper hand for a little bit. So what Broly did, of course, since he's becoming more of an animal, thanks to losing his control of this power, he just grabs Goku by the foot and just starts swinging him around and just slams him to the ground.
That's literally the most iconic scene in the whole film, in my opinion.
When I saw that, I was like, for once, it's just so good to see an actual slam that hurts. You know what I mean? Because when he gets slammed to the floor, they slow down the scene and you hear Goku scream. He even loses like his pupils for like a couple of seconds as well.
He borderline blacks out.
Yeah. And then he ends up getting weak.
It's not like a through and around. It's like a
Yeah, they haven't done that in a while either. No, in Dragon Ball Z, they used to show like real huge slow impacts that would hurt the characters where they're like spitting up blood and stuff.
The only other comparison I can think of that is really close to it is when 18 kicks Super Saiyan Vegeta in the arm and
it breaks his arm.
That is the most disgusting. It's almost on that tier. And to me,
I want to say when Raccoon kicks Gohan in the face and it breaks his neck.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but this Dragon Ball Z's at its brutal right here.
And it was satisfying, man. I love it when I can see the characters show sign of pain, because it's actually meaning that it's a threat. There's actually a legitimate thing. If they mess up, they will die, and it's just nice
Yeah.
seeing how those little moments really make up that feel, And I think
Mhm.
and it's also better when you watch it in the big screen as well, because you hear
Yeah,
that sound
definitely.
just stretch out throughout the entire room. You
Everybody go
feel
watch it in
that pain.
IMAX, everybody.
You feel
Right.
that pain. It's great. So I think they did a great job with the combat for Goku and Broly. You were mentioning earlier before about the moment where Broly gets paused for a bit. That was also another moment I enjoyed as well, where Goku decided to go God form for a couple of minutes to try to calm Broly down, to let him know, by the way, you don't have to listen to them. Be yourself. Don't listen to what they have to tell you. And you see for just a split second, Broly considered that thought before he ended up getting himself, out of control once again.
Hmm.
It's those little touches once again I love so much, and I feel that moment right there, that scene, was what probably led to the finale of this film with the very end, where we'll talk more about that later. I felt
Yeah.
that was what solidified the connection between Goku and Broly. I think it was that moment alone that allowed Broly to have a little bit of fate in Goku, because he was the one out of everybody, he was the one to say, listen, you don't have to do this. You can calm down. You can relax.
Right.
He even said in the middle of the fight, just calm down. He was just saying it
Yeah.
so calmly and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I felt that moment alone really did help make an impact towards the very end of the film. Yeah, the fight sequence, as mentioned before, the first person perspective, that was great. The sequences, animation, all that, beautiful. The Goku Broly from the OST was
I
great.
like the
Oh no, I think it
tribal
was
like
Kakarot, right?
Kakara. Yeah, I love the tribal music because it makes sense. Because Broly's in like primal. This is Broly at his primal, so I
Yeah,
love like
he's
the
become an animal.
tribal like. Yeah, I like the tribal animal like OST for that. That was pretty cool.
So yeah, the OST just enhanced the experience as well.
Yeah. So
So that's my take on
Terrell.
it.
Yeah, Terrell.
Uh, it's hard for it to have two people commentate on the same fight. I guess I'll mention some things that KG didn't mention. For example, I really agree with that whole moment where he paused Broly. I think that's a really good moment. I think I wish there was more to that, which gets into my complaints about the whole pausing at the end of Javita's section of the fight, where I think they took the remote from him way too fucking soon, and they didn't give him a chance. Because to me, it wasn't apparent enough to me from Goku and Vegeta that he was being controlled. Like, although Goku says it, Goku, what was Goku's precedent for saying that? Like, what made him think that Broly was being controlled? Because he never saw Broly get shocked. He never saw
Yeah.
he never saw his dad outright control him. It was always like this. Broly would tell
Yeah.
him to do things, but that was it. So
Well, I mean, his
Yeah,
father
but-
was screaming all the time, so they
Well,
got.
I mean, yeah,
Saiyans have a
I
tendency to
think
scream.
what, and this is where, and I'm gonna be odd about this. This is where Legendary Super Saiyan Broly kind of to point up on them in that perspective, because Broly fought Goku on his I'll call it possessed Super Saiyan form, during the middle of the night. Just went off to go kill him, and Broly calmed him down. Like we saw, Paragus calmed Broly down. He used this little cuffling on his head and to control his actions, and he calmed him down. So Goku was able to see exactly what was going on. Here, we just hear Paragus go, "Broly attack!" and the fucking fight happens.
Yeah, there's not enough setup for it. Now, I do like the inner conflict that Broly's having, where he's fighting between he loves his father, but his father's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I like that idea, but I think it would have worked better if Goku had saw that. Like, it's kind of like the suggestion I came up with in my video, where I said, what if Goku saw Paragus shock Broly, and Goku got pissed because he's like, how could you do that to your own son? Being a father himself, and it's an easy thing to relate to, he charges at Paragus. Broly's still conflicted, but also being shocked, but also losing his sense of self, goes off and becomes his stronger state while beating the shit out of Goku, because it's like, that's my dad kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. There were better ways to do this, because having is obviously a correlation to how he was controlled in the first film. But he only happens when he's a kid. Actually, it didn't even happen when he's a kid. He just grabbed him by the tail. It only happened when we saw him. He only used it like once, and then whoop, it's broken now. It's too quickly. To me, it's too quick.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to add to Goku and Broly's?
Oh, but the fight, yeah. My favorite sequence is still the him being grabbed by the leg and getting beat down massively. I still like the scene where he stops him and tries to talk him down, because that would be something it's in character for Goku to do.
Right. It was the one time I felt like they didn't treat Goku like a complete idiot.
Although, to be
this entire movie, he really wasn't.
Oh,
well, the repugnant thing bugs me.
He's pretty.
Because even if you don't know what the word repugnant means, you can use your context clues.
No, but I don't mean
or
from
you
that.
Can just explain it to him, you ass.
I did like that he used that word, by the way, at the very end of the film too.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that I really did enjoy how Goku, he understood the situation. Like, there came a moment where this also happened in the Goku versus Broly segment where he was talking with Piccolo for a little bit. And I think it's like one of those rare instances.
I was going to comment on that, yeah.
He's like, listen, if things get, any worse, we're going to retreat and visit you so we can come up with a new plan. Like, that is so rare to see from Goku.
That. Yeah, I like the fact that Goku planned it for a tactical retreat.
Yeah, like, see, that's what I mean. Like, I feel he's, like, learning. He's actually understanding the situation.
The problem with that is that I feel like Goku, like the Z Goku would have said something like that, not Super Goku.
I think after the events of the Tournament of Power, I feel he understands this all over again. Like, I think he's finally reverted back to Z.
I was going to say, that's just my problem, though. Why is Goku learning stuff that he already knew?
This is Super, man.
I think you're giving him too much credit, personally.
Yeah, because
no, I'm just saying I just enjoyed that scene. Yeah. I feel like he's moving up. I'm not saying he has completely came back to Z.
No, he's not moving up. He's moving backwards to where he used to be.
But this is Super. This is a different universe at this point.
No, remember, this is the exact same Dragon Ball. This is the exact same Goku that Gohan went off to go fight Semi-Perfect Cell because he blew a hole in Piccolo's stomach. And then Goku punches Gohan and says, yo, we're not strong enough. We have to stay out of Dodge until we get the training from the hyperbolic time chamber. Like, that's so when you, I don't know, it's just when I see that, I'm not impressed by like Goku's learning, because it's like he knew stuff like that already. He just now decides.
Oh, he did? Whoa, didn't realize he already knew.
Well, like I mentioned, I'm just considering this a different universe after the events of what went down with Goku Black, where you learned that there are like 50 billion timelines. So I assume this is like one of them.
Damn, so what's the difference?
Right. KG, you're absolutely right, though. The scene is well done with the conversation between Goku and Piccolo. It definitely shows that these two have come a long way. And I think this does their relationship very well, too, because remember, Piccolo is an enemy, too. And I do like the fact that they decided, hey, I'm going to need to come to you for some help. Like, even Piccolo's like, I'm not sure what I'll do, but hey, I'm here. I'm here for emotional support.
And he was also like, you know what? I think I'll also stay here because I feel like I'll end up getting in the way if I end up getting over there or something.
Thanks, dog.
AKA, we can't have side characters in the fight because they suck.
Yeah.
Even though this is right after the Tournament of Power, AKA everyone's at their strongest right now.
Right. That's definitely wasted potential. But Terrell, did you have anything else to add?
No, you need to talk now.
Okay. Oh, well, the Goku and Broly fight, for the most part, I thought it was really good. This fight does a really good job of explaining what the difference between someone who's trained in martial arts versus someone who was just born powerful and got up to this point.
I guess that's the only thing else to mention. I like the fact that they show him using his martial arts. Because it feels like it's been a while since we've seen it.
Yeah, I think since, I want to say the world's strongest.
Probably.
Probably way back when Dragon Ball Z was still technically kind of Dragon Ball-esque.
You mean good.
But, yeah. Yeah. So, Vegeta obviously to all the way to Super Saiyan God to fight Broly, and Broly's powered up since then. Goku fights Broly at normal state for a bit, and I bet some people were like kind of peeved because this will be the hit situation all over again. How come Vegeta's at Super Saiyan Blue fighting hit and losing, but Goku's got a one hit and on hit while he's at normal state? It's because no matter how powerful you are, if you're well endowed in the martial arts, you can find blind spots and weaknesses to your opponent. Strength, making your number higher doesn't mean shit, and that definitely shows in this fight when Goku is able to get some pop shots in on Broly, even in his weaker stages. Now, when you went Super Saiyan God, the red form, I liked it not only for the pause moment, but I love the red transformation for some reason. It always feels different than the others. It felt like a Zen mode type of transformation, if that makes any sense.
When the fuck did he get telekinesis, by the way?
I don't know. I think, well, Z kind of gave it to him when he did the whole touch Krillin's shoulder to find out what happened situation. But I don't know. It just, when Goku, I think the most impressive thing I saw was when Goku stopped Broly, because I didn't know he could do stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Where the fuck did the telekinesis come from?
I don't know. I guess it's a quirk that comes with the God form. I mean, he also has the ability to absorb energy blasts when Beerus tried to kill him.
Thank you, Super, for your inconsistency with powers.
Yeah, it's very out of there what God mode can and can't do. But I did like the fact that Goku was doing really well in that fight until Broly just sort of overpowered him, because that's pretty much what happened. Goku was doing fine, and then Broly's number just boosted higher, and Goku's got smacked out the way. And at that point, I think the fight just sort of escalates to the point where Goku has to go. Yeah, they cheat Ultra Instinct, and then Goku goes blue.
You mean tease it?
Yeah, they tease it. But did you guys feel any way about that? Or, I mean, when I saw it happen, I was like, okay, that's fine. I didn't care either. I was just like I would have been actually kind of pissed if he went Ultra Instinct in this movie.
Well, but you can tell the movie was more focused for Gogeta anyway, so.
Right. They already gave that away in the trailer.
So at this point, I think he starts losing against Blue, and then that's when Frieza kills Paragus, right?
Yeah, bro. Goku uses Blue, which allows him to last a little bit longer. Vegeta sort of hops into the fight too at this point, because Vegeta just sort of stood out the way for a minute. It was just like it's so weird. Normally, I'm so used to Vegeta getting smacked. It was sort of weird for Vegeta to just go, I'm done fighting now. Did you guys feel any way about that?
Yeah, it seemed kind of out of character.
KG?
No, pretty much what Terrell said. I mean,
yeah, it was weird to just like Vegeta finally gets his fight, and then he's like, I'm done. And then when Goku goes blue, obviously, Broly needs an edge, so Frieza kills Paragus. And
this is one of the most disrespectful scenes I had seen.
I was gonna let you go ahead, Terrell, because I knew you were gonna jump on this.
It's such a stupid fucking sequence. And to be fair, it's in character for Frieza. Frieza would do some shit like this. Frieza not giving a fuck. He would do some shit like this. My issue is it's such a mood whiplash because it's
played up for laughs.
It's played so up for gags, and I'm like, that's what gets into the main issue of Broly. Broly fluctuates between being a Dragon Ball Z film and a Super film, where at the end of the day, we need Goku, Vegeta, and Broly to fight, but we want to make him somewhat relatable. So the film's like, well, Paragus is an asshole, but Broly's conflicted because that's his dad. That's the Z part. The Super part is, but we still need him to get to a high level, so we need to kill his dad really, really quickly. Well, we can't just have him get shot with random energy blasts and have him freak out. That would make too much sense. Nah, we need Frieza to kill him in a really random ass way. I need to see Broly get even stronger. You're dead. Broly, what happened? An energy blast killed your father. Oh no.
The weird part is when you said that, I actually thought that's like in the movie when I was watching it, I thought that was what was going to happen anyway, because you can see in the fight when it escalates to that point, Frieza puts a bubble around him to protect himself, but Paragus doesn't. So Paragus just sort of gets blasted. I thought that was going to kill Paragus.
I still thought,
and then Broly would see it and flip out.
I think Broly should have still ended up killing his father, and I think the way it should have happened is that Paragus either threatens or tries to kill Chile, and to protect her, he flips out and kills his father.
While going Super Saiyan, because that's the first time Broly turned Super Saiyan, by the way.
Yeah, and then have Goku and Vegeta deal with a Broly who's kind of lost, who's grieving but also losing his mind at the same time. Because after a certain point, Broly doesn't matter anymore. It's just all about Broly the Behemoth fighting. It doesn't, like, his character does not matter at all until the very end of the film.
Yeah, you can definitely see that there's a trade-off between the sympathetic Broly that Dragon Ball Super made and the Raging Hulk Broly that Dragon Ball Z made.
Yeah, because they're still like, well, we still got to show him a fight. And we're like...
Right.
There's nothing wrong with having a pause in the fight for character development. No, we still got to show you the fight. So we got to fight, and then you got to break through dimensions. We got to change the background 6 times. And then we got to be like, bye, Frieza. I need to teleport. Goku... Piccolo, teach me and Vegeta how to do fusion together. And then we had the comedic gag in which we got to see all versions of Gogeta, fat, old, and...
I feel like Veku would have sufficed. I don't think we needed a skinny Gogeta.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll let
KG
go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, KG, what did you feel about the Paragus death?
Well... I have to agree with the part about Frieza where it was like, yeah, that fits Frieza's character and all, but it was so rushed. It was just like you didn't get a chance to feel any sentiments, but then again, you're not supposed to because he was treating his son like a jerk to begin with. But it was just so quick. They just were like, okay, he's dead. Like, it didn't have that much impact like how it was for when Krillin got killed by Frieza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, one of the key blasts ended up launching on him and he died. Like, oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
okay.
That makes him mad. Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's not much sloppy. I can add to it because they didn't really seem to care much about it either.
I feel like there should have been a moment where they thought Broly died after Goku went blue, and Paragus is just like upset about it, and Frieza goes, "Well, I have no use for a lion tamer without his lion," kills Paragus, and then Broly sees it and goes Super Saiyan. At this point, does it really matter who he's mad at? He's just mad at that point.
Well, that's the whole goal here.
Right. So it's still like I don't think Frieza needed to.
But we can't use Paragus and other stuff, so we just need to kill him and do it.
I don't think Frieza needed to make a joke out of it. I don't think Frieza needed to be like, "Look, Broly." He didn't need to. Why? He's Frieza. He's killed for less, by the way. He killed Dende's brother. Not like he's actually, not above killing.
An easier way to do it is have Broly see Frieza try to kill Paragus, and as he runs in to protect his father's like, "Don't do it, this is Lord Frieza," and he ends up getting killed by Broly by accident. And then Broly's dealing with the trauma of accidentally killing his father.
Yeah, like Goku did when he accidentally killed Gohan or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just I don't know. I feel like Frieza killing Paragus is fine. That's the fine part. Him just shooting him is fine. Frieza's killed so many people with Death Beam, I'm not even shocked by it anymore. But it bugs me that they had to play that up for laughs. I hate when they do stuff like that and have to play it up for laughs. That's what bugged me. But I guess we can talk about the other parts where Broly just sort of flips out, Vegeta and Goku work together, and then they leave it to Frieza to get beat up for an hour, by the way. What did you guys feel about that ridiculous, absurd amount of time that Frieza's getting his shit kicked in?
It was actually more than an hour, wasn't it?
No, it was an hour because they only transformed twice. It was like an hour and 5 minutes.
They gotta wait 30 minutes in between each fusion. So yeah, it was an hour.
This shows Frieza's development. Like, he really has began like showing that he is capable of handling on his own now. To be able to last for an hour when back in the day in Resurrection F you could only be for like 5 to 10 minutes, you know what I mean?
It's so idiotic though to see that.
It's idiotic, but it's just like I hope that carries over.
It's played up for comedy, and I kind of don't care. because the joke isn't funny. Like, okay,
the
fine.
joke is that Frieza got his comeuppance and he's a punching bag for an hour.
Yeah, like the only reason I will only care for this scene is if this actually carries on into future movies / series. Because if they just sort of ignore it and then you find out Frieza can only last for 20 minutes, it kind of makes the whole fight just seem very bizarre. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. For me, I feel like this is the greatest chance that other characters would have been useful. Like if you had put Gohan in the movie, if you had put Piccolo. I mean, well, Piccolo's teaching them, but if you had put, which Goten and Trunks could have taught Goku and Vegeta, that would have been a nice son teaching father moment.
Yeah, but see,
because they perfected the fusion.
And like I said, this is the running issue with the film. There's a bunch of other things they could have done to make this film work better. So it's like, although the film by itself is fine, I never could say this is the greatest film or the greatest Dragon Ball film.
They showed up, like Android 17 made his appearance in the Tournament of Power anyway as MVP. They might as well have put 17 in the movie for a while to buy some time, and by extension, I guess 18 and Gohan and maybe Krillin. They could have had them buy an hour's worth of time, or at least 30 minutes worth of time. And then Gogeta could have shown up. That's a lot more believable than Frieza getting his shit kicked in for an hour. That it just is to me. I don't know. It just is. Because if you take into account how fast a Dragon Ball fight is, for Frieza to get beat up for an hour just seems ridiculous.
This is why I say it's the mood whiplash. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! We're supposed to care in the beginning. Frieza's getting his ass whooped for an hour. You fucked up the fusion, Goku. You fucked up the fusion, Vegeta. The Vegeta, it's working now. And then honestly, the problem here is that the rest of the film is literally a fight, a really ridiculously well animated fight. Chile summoning the Dragon Balls as Gogeta, as Broly's about to die, and Broly's not dead. Woo! We can use him in the cannon now more. Woo!
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but I do like. I will say this, and KG, you could. I don't know if you have anything to say after. I do like the. I do like the fact that Gogeta is basically the closest to defeating an actual person. And then they wish him away to somewhere else, though. But I kind of like it that way. I don't like when Dragon Ball movies end so generically like that, because they've done it enough I'm over that now.
Just to be fair, I have no issues really with the ending at all. In terms of Chile being the one who summons the dragon to save him, I have no issues with Broly being saved and being alive. I have no issues with Gogeta stopping Frieza, being like, "Don't you fucking shoot them, because I'll kill you, bitch." And he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll go home." Like. Honestly, the ending of the film I have really no issues with whatsoever. Even them meeting on the planet later on in Chile being kind of like a concerned mother, I have no issues with any of that. It's just the journey that got me here. That I'm like, there was a bunch of bumps on the road and everybody acted like y'all slept like babies. You're fucking liars. You didn't sleep like babies. There were bumps on this road. That was
all right. KG, your thoughts on Gogeta and Broly?
Oh my god, first of all, this is very minor, but I was so happy that the Kamehameha got its own song in the OST. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when that
it was
song
a nice song, yeah.
It was fantastic. You hear the slow build up to him saying Kamehameha, and just the animation during that whole sequence was great. Another small thing, I don't know if you guys touched upon it, the whole Whis stuff.
Oh, Broly. We didn't comment on Broly versus Whis. That short fight.
No, because it doesn't matter. That's why.
Well, I guess it was just to show that Whis is way stronger than Broly. Because at this point, Broly is at Super Saiyan, and he's just dodging. Whis is just dodging all of Broly's moves.
Yeah, he's just letting them he's playing around. That's the crazy part. It just shows you that Broly, he is a threat, but then you have Whis.
It was Whis' way of getting involved without getting involved, and I guess they needed to make Beerus a babysitter so they can get him out the way. I mean, they could have literally just had Beerus sleeping on his planet, so I don't know why they did that. I guess for the joke of, hey, can you watch our baby?
And it worked.
and it worked. Also, we don't see Bulma afterwards, by the way.
Who the fuck is Bulma?
Yeah,
She got blown up by the
Hey,
volcano
listen,
lava.
Tyrone.
Yeah, Bulma
Welcome to the
lands Goku and Vegeta there.
show.
Yeah, I was like, Bulma lands Goku and Vegeta at the Arctic area, and then that's it. She's gone. She just disappears.
She doesn't have much to do, man. I mean, what else could she do?
Yeah, it's the Goku and Vegeta show. That's Terrell said it the best. But yeah, did anyone like the whole when they're fighting so fast that hit time skip effect happens?
It's kind of another dumb comedy moment, but at that point, I don't think they care. They just said, "Fuck."
Really?
We're
You thought that was comedy? I thought it was action.
Was it? I mean, in terms of, I hit you so hard, we break into another dimension. Like,
Oh, I thought they were just like moving so fast that hits time skip effect sort of happened.
no, I think that's just more so. I think that's just more for visual flair. Like it doesn't to me. It doesn't mean anything. It's just that it makes the back because I think they commented on it for a second or something. I might be misremembering, but
I don't think I thought they were just beating each other up while the time froze. I know Gogeta also uses the Soul Punisher technique in that fight.
yeah,
The same movie used on Janemba. Yeah, I think that was just sort of like a Easter egg as well too. Honestly, I do feel kind of weird that Gogeta didn't use the Big Bang Kamehameha on him, but whatever.
beggars can't be choosers.
Right. I guess at this point they're just wrapping the fight up. I don't. What do you guys think of the fact that Gogeta went to base form, then Super Saiyan, then Blue?
I kind of wish he didn't even go that far.
Why do you say that?
I kind of wish that Gogeta was like inherently like way stronger than Broly, versus just being at Blue and being like, now I'm stronger than you. Like because I feel like Gogeta, because when Goku at the end of the movie says some stuff about how there's even further heights he can reach, I'm like, I want Gogeta to still be like out of reach for Broly right now.
There's an insanely large margin, and that way it gives Broly a chance to grow too.
Yeah, because here he's so close, and it's like this is about as close as strong as Goku and Vegeta are currently. So like, I wanted the gap to be larger if they're gonna play.
Yeah,
but that's just me. That's just a nitpick.
KG, did you have anything to add on that?
Nope. I feel Terrell managed to get everything perfectly with that.
Yeah, so obviously they're about to kill Chile and Limero get the Dragon Balls. I will say though, this wish to transfer Broly back to Vampa, which damn, why to Vampa? Why not just in the ship or something where he'll be safe? But okay. Right, like, okay, we'll take him to Vampa. I mean, because towards the end, and KG, I don't know if you were going to comment on this, but towards the end, when the Kamehameha is about to hit Broly, you can see his irises and his eyes back. The pupils return.
Yeah, for like a split second.
Yeah, as if to show Broly's actually calming down. He's coming to his senses right before he's about to die.
Oh, I guess I should bring this up because I forgot. It was just so satisfying seeing how Broly was like. You could tell by his movement during the final minutes when he was fighting against Blue Gogeta, where he was just trying to fight for defending. He wasn't like fighting to actually kill. Like he was trying to defend himself.
He became a more defensive fighter because he was overwhelmed at that point.
Exactly.
I think.
It was such a little small moment, but it was so great to see how the tables have turned, and now he's sort of just at a loss. And I think that was what led him to finally get back to become normal again for just a split second before, of course, him eventually getting back to his planet.
Yeah, because the minute he gets back to Vampa, he does transform back to normal. So, I guess just I don't know. I think I do like this moment of using the Dragon Balls this way. It's definitely a big improvement to what we've seen the Dragon Balls be used for lately. Where I like this because it kind of, I don't know, I get Oolong vibes by this, where like everybody's planning they use the Dragon Balls for their own selfish reason, but the Dragon Balls end up getting used for a different reason that stops the conflict. Like I remember one time, in Dragon Ball, Emperor Pilaf finally gets the Dragon Balls. Goku turns Great Ape, and they're about to go. Pilaf's about to wish for immortality, and then Oolong just jumps in and goes, "I wish for Bulma's panties," which causes everything to just sort of come to a close. So yeah, I do like the idea of the Dragon Balls being the thing that ends the conflict without, directly ending the conflict. And it stops Gogeta from committing murder, by the way.
He wanted to, this is like one of those rare instances where they were like, yep, he's a threat. We're going to have to kill him.
I don't know. No. What I think it was that Gogeta got cocky and overdid it. Because I don't like to give fusions the benefit of I hate fusions. And I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to stop and think Gogeta thought that much. I think he thought, look how cool I am. I'm about to blow this dude to smithereens.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Fusions to me I have a bad rep with fusions. Fusions are way too cocky, and they never really accomplish anything. Because Gogeta was cool, but let's pay attention to the fact that he didn't beat Broly.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way.
Yeah, the only time Gogeta won a fight was during the Fusion Reborn, and that was because the fusion was the gimmick. So, to this day, fusions have not had a 1-win count.
I just wish he hesitated a little bit about it, because Goku's the type where he's like, he doesn't like killing strong opponents if he thinks he can keep them alive or something. Which is part of the reason why I kind of wish he was somewhat aware of what Chile and was doing.
Chile and Limeral.
Like maybe he was just trying to buy time to allow them to save him, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it fits Goku's character wanting to fight strong enemies. But you still get to see Gogeta because it's like, all right, he's gotten to the point now where if you guys can't get to the Dragon Ball and summon Shenron, then I will have to kill him.
I'll take matters into my own hands.
So
gotcha.
It's a cool like race against the clock where it's like, I don't want to kill him because of my need to fight strong opponents, but for the sake of my family and friends, I will kill him if I need to.
Yeah, I think we saw most of Goku's character happen when Frieza's about to kill Chile and Limeral. And Gogeta just stops him.
Yeah.
But then it bugs me that Gogeta's not killing Frieza. Vegeta even made it very clear that he wants Frieza dead. And he just sort of lets him go. And I'm just like, no, kill Frieza. He's right there.
Yeah, that's also dumb.
You have more than enough power to stop him. I mean, I guess they're looking at it from this perspective. Tournament of Power just ended. Whis gave him his life. And Gogeta just takes it away in an instant. Like he's only been alive for like a couple of days. But yeah, and then after that we get our closure to the movie. Goku brings Chile, Limeral, and Broly some to help them live, because Goku's heard that the planet's repugnant, and after that, I believe Broly they're giving us bait that Broly will be part of the main cast, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and Goku's like, by the way, you can call me Kakarot, and then everybody goes, hey, and the Seinfeld music plays.
That to me was still probably the most surprising end credits moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he acknowledges his name. He acknowledges who he truly is now. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it is because Goku sort of rejects the name Kakarot unless Vegeta says it. And I do know in the legendary Super Saiyan Broly movie, Goku does state to Broly, only my friends call me Kakarot, and you're not my friend. So I guess he indirectly is saying Vegeta is his friend in that movie. And I'm like, Vegeta's the only one that calls you Kakarot. No one else has called you Kakarot in that movie.
Exactly.
In that census.
They're the best of friends, from the good times to the bad times.
Yeah, but so I guess since Broly is a fellow full-blooded Saiyan, Goku wanted to give him the chance to call him by his Saiyan name, which, okay, fine. It's just, I don't know. I think because they're setting up that Broly will be part of the main cast. What do you guys think of that, by the way? So we'll have 3 full-blooded Saiyans on the team.
That would imply them running a good arc for him. So we'll have to wait and see.
I have a huge feeling that since Broly's the stronger of them, Goku and Broly will wind up being rivals now, and Vegeta will just sort of get Piccolo'd.
Good. Because fuck Vegeta. I'm just playing.
Wow.
Also, no, honestly, to me, I'm not super excited about it because it's Super. If it was Z, I might be a little excited about it. Here, you've given Broly good potential, and the anime version of this movie has a potential to be pretty decent because it'll be more fleshed out. But they always manage to fuck it up somehow, so I don't have high expectations.
Yeah. I don't either. I feel like they're gonna drop the ball on this. I think it's nice opening, but I don't think it's gonna finish well. KG, do you have any?
Nope, not really. I mean, it all depends on where things go from this point onward, because
Right.
this is one of those occasions where I will give my full opinion on this film depending on how they handle it moving forward. You know what I mean? Because
right. You wait to see what happens because the movie leaves it open.
exactly, and if they don't fulfill that opening and utilize it to their fullest potential and overall ruin it within the series, then it just makes the movie feel much more insignificant in the end.
Right, and I feel like that's a good segue to start off with closing overall thoughts. And KG, you want to go ahead and take that one?
Yeah, despite all these opinions I have for this film, I still had a blast watching it. I still felt like a kid going back into this again, man. Hearing the screams from the audience to like the just like the screams from the actual movie itself, the blast, the animation, the music. It's basically everything that a Dragon Ball fan would want when it comes to the combat and all that, because this feels like a very traditional Dragon Ball Z-esque kind of film.
Right.
And I had a blast with it, and I'm just curious about where they intend to go with it moving forward, because you can have a solid start, but if you can't, stick with that start and you somehow get sidetracked, everything just comes crumbling down, and then it'll just be pointless, this entire film. Which hurts because this film, I think, is a step in the right direction, and given Super's track record with how they handled everything so far in the anime series, I don't know. It's something that we'll have to hear from when they redo this for the anime, because they're going to do that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, they are, and it's not gonna look as cool. But Terrell, you go ahead and give your closing / overall thoughts.
It's hard because KG essentially nailed it. Literally what I wanted to say.
Okay.
It's one of the better Dragon Ball films. I probably would say I still think Battle of Gods is probably a better film than this one. But it's a good film and it is a step in the right direction. But it all depends on how they want to handle that Super continuation. So I'm still a little bit concerned. So I'm like.
So to sum up what you guys think, then you're saying that this movie presented itself really well, but it left itself open, like wide open. And the only way you can get closure is to see how they handle things afterwards.
Well, I don't
exactly.
First off, I don't need the closure. The second thing is, I think the film just suffers from the fact that it can't make up its mind between what kind of film it is, a Dragon Ball Super film or a Dragon Ball Z film. And to me, that hurts.
Yeah.
It also is a big problem with mood whiplash.
Yeah.
So, good film. You can go see it, and I won't call you a shill because it's actually a good film. But be very afraid and don't get overconfident because Toei cannot be trusted 90% of the time, and Toriyama can't be either. But we try to stay positive. Oh, side note, quick side note. Apparently, the original script for this film was supposed to be 3 hours long.
Oh my God!
I actually wouldn't have mind seeing that, considering I think they could have made it better. I think Isaiah might have been a better film if it was 3 hours long.
Director's cut incoming.
I was just gonna say, can we get a DVD of that? Because I am buying.
No.
I
with
feel
commentary.
like I'm buying the DVD to this. I will own it, and then I will give it another watch because I guess this is going on to my closure / overall thoughts. This movie is what I like to call it's part. I won't say it's full on, but it's part roller coaster movie. What does that mean? Well, a roller coaster movie to me is always like it was fun in the moment, but it's not gonna hold as long as it can. And there's certain parts I think won't hold on long. Well, there's only so many times I can see the Broly versus Goku and Vegeta fight before I'm over it. You can only get impressed by it for so many times. It's impressive, but it doesn't. I don't think it's gonna hold the movie for the rest of it. However, they do make an attempt, because I will say this movie is pandering. It's playing it safe and it's pandering. It's using a character that technically already exists in the confines of Dragon Ball, and they just reimagined them for the sake of, improving what was not very improved to begin with. Because it's Broly. The bar's low. So they definitely improved on Broly, if that means anything. Giving him, essentially, I guess, supporting cast definitely gives him fuel to technically even make his own spin-off series. But the problem that the movie has, and I won't stress this enough, is just the lack of other characters. You don't have much of a supporting cast. It's like what Terrell said earlier. It's the Goku and Vegeta show. I feel like this would have been a great moment for Gohan, Krillin 18 and 17. I say those characters in particular because I feel like Krillin would have provided that comedy relief that Goku was kind of providing anyway. But you could split it upon
something
the characters.
that screams TV series. That seems like something they would save for the TV. Because, if they let's put it in this perspective. If they were to pour everything here, what could they save for the TV series for Broly's development?
You say that, and then Resurrection F happened. And in Resurrection F, they did the exact same thing where Goku and Vegeta did most of the work.
Yeah.
They fought the side characters.
And Vegeta again.
Yeah, and then what happened in Resurrection F is that when it got turned into Dragon Ball Super, first of all, the quality was terrible, and the side characters got their butts kicked immediately by some Ginyu knockoff. And then after that, that's just it. Goku and Vegeta just take the front lines again. We're here, it's we're here, you got Broly's getting stronger as he fights. So I feel like Gohan would have been a great fight for Broly. 17 would have been really good for him to fight, along with 18. And then Krillin could have just handled the comedy relief stuff and talking with Lemuel or Chila, or a funny moment where he accidentally is looking at Chila for a little too long and 18 gets pissed. The reason I love Dragon Ball so much is mostly because of the characters, the cast that we have. It's one of the reasons why this isn't my favorite movie. It's not. It's a good movie. And if I were to rank it right now, I'd say it belongs in second place. And obviously first place belongs to Battle of Gods, because Battle of Gods, while it wasn't so fight heavy, oddly, it focused on the characters, which means the build up to the fight made it more appealing. And that's where this movie it's split in half. It's so clear where the movie part ends and the fight part begins, if that makes any sense. Is that making sense to anyone?
I got it.
No,
understand? Yeah.
I understand, Sensei.
No, the minute Broly comes out of the ship and attacks Vegeta, the plot part of the movie is essentially over. And we jump to the fighting.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's what you guys said earlier. It's a Dragon Ball movie and it has a story. But then the minute Broly comes out of that ship, man, it becomes DBZ all the way, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because the fight looks gorgeous. And it definitely shows how no matter what generation of animation that we're in, Dragon Ball will always be known for having the best fights. So congrats to that, and congrats to making Broly a better character. But at what cost? At the cost of an entirely established cast, at the cost of a lack of use of other potential characters, at the cost of the serious stakes that Dragon Ball is known for having. This movie, to me, its visuals take it the farthest. If it weren't for the fight and the way that they treat it in the presentation, it wouldn't go far. It's fan service, but it's fan service with a bit of effort put into it. And I shouldn't have to say that for Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball, up till the Majin Buu arc at least, was always known for putting a significant amount of effort into things. So this felt it felt like it was just, it met its standard, went a little bit further, and then stopped to stay safe, if that makes any sense.
Waiting for that part 3 to come out here.
Yeah.
Because Tyrone's like, listen, I've told you this once. I've told you this twice. I got to tell you one more time so you understand. This is a mediocre movie. But
0 out of 10.
No, it's not mediocre. I enjoyed it. Go watch it. It's a good movie. It's a really great movie. I just want to. I guess I may have to do a follow-up review on it after I've watched the DVD, because Resurrection F went from being this really great movie in theaters to being trash. It, like, when I watch the movie again, I literally get upset by watching it.
Oh, I thought it was bad from the jump.
Yeah, well, from the jump, I thought it was a decent movie. It was a really good movie.
Tyrone doesn't have good taste in what he's selling.
No, when I
pretty
left,
much.
after I left the theater,
No.
and watched it on DVD, I was like, this isn't what I thought it was. This was just the audience around me made this better than what it actually is, if that makes any sense.
Tyrone gets sucked into the theater experience. AKA Tyrone should never go to the theaters.
Well, it's just like a Transformers movie.
Just watch on
Transformers
Netflix.
movies. I was like, yeah, Transformers movies look cool, but then afterwards you don't really talk about them. They didn't leave an impact on you. They just are.
Unless
This
you're
movie,
us.
I think.
Well, I mean, when you're
Yeah.
expecting Michael Bay to write a story, I mean,
That was the first
Right.
yeah,
Pretty- right,
exactly.
pretty much,
That's
yeah.
your fault, man. No one's telling you.
So yeah, this movie was a wild ride with a spice of plot, and I think it's gonna hold its own better than Resurrection F will, definitely. But it's not the best Dragon Ball movie that belongs to Battle of Gods, but it is close. It's close. But with that all being said, I'm really glad that you guys were able to join me for this. I think I got a lot of my thoughts out that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get in the video by myself. Obviously follow KG Prestige on his channel on YouTube, where we do the Poke Pod every Monday, and then he also does Tales of Vesperia streams. Follow Terrell, the Insane Game Freak, aka Schizomanic. You have 3 channels, right?
Just focus. Since this is anime related, just Schizomanic.
Follow him on Schizomanic, where he does various anime and video game reviews.
Actually, I would say tomorrow as you're watching this, but they'll probably see this. If depending on when you're watching this, actually the video should already be out. There's a video with Tyrone and Polly on it that's currently, it hasn't aired yet, but it's about to air.
Yeah.
By the time this video will probably be out. So
Involving,
stuff.
it's involving a certain character in the Pokemon series. So with that said, everybody subscribe to these guys. Also follow them on Twitter. And with that being said, did you guys have anything else to say?
Thank you and good night. Peace.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, all right then, everybody. See you all then. Tyrone the God 3 out.